Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Nibiru channel. It is January 4th, 2017. And about 10 hours ago, there was a magnitude 7.2 that hit just off the coast of the Fiji Islands. And it's a rather unusual earthquake because it struck off of the fault boundary line. Now, here you can see there's a major article in the newspaper already down there showing. Now, they downgraded this, naturally, the USGS, to a magnitude 6.9 earthquake, and it prompted evacuations, and it caused power and electricity to be cut. Now, as you can see in this photograph, they are evacuating people from buildings all over the island. Now, it states that a magnitude 6.9 earthquake was or has struck 284 kilometers southwest of the Fiji capital, Suva. The USGS says and states. Then they had some aftershocks in a magnitude of 5.7. Now, there was a Pacific tsunami warning issued. However, they did cancel it. Now, if you just take a look at the other photographs, I mean, you can see people lined up on the streets being evacuated from buildings. They even brought in the Red Cross immediately because they were expecting damage. However, there was no damage. And if we look down here, take a look at the island of Fiji, and the earthquake was some distance offshore. Now, the information that I was reading kind of confused geologists and seismologists because they've never had an earthquake actually out in this area. They stated that it was very rare, very unusual, and we're going to take a look real quick at the live earthquake map, and it is basically just littered with earthquakes all around the globe. Let's first zoom into the west coast of the United States. Now, yesterday, as I was looking at this map late in the day, they've taken down some of the markers. However, all along the San Andreas Fault, from just slightly north of San Francisco all the way down to the Mexican border, there were lines of microquakes. Now, they weren't that big. We're talking magnitude 1, 1.8, but they were literally straight down the San Andreas Fault line. Now, they have removed almost all of them. As you can see, we're going to move down into the Southern California area. The quakes are getting a little bit bigger as far as magnitude. These were all in the high magnitude 1.7, 1.8. Now they seem to be increasing 2.39, 2.5, 2.64, and a 3.08. So there is definitely pressure building in this zone, and we're going to just move up to Alaska. Now, this is usually a very active zone, and as you can see, last earthquake up there, 3.4, about 12 hours ago. But once again, you can see these earthquakes are swarming all through the Alaskan region, the southern Alaskan region. And we're going to go ahead and move down to South America. Now, this agency is not reporting the earthquakes in the South American region, especially right here on the west coast of South America, especially Chile and Peru, where they're prone to these earthquakes. So we're going to move over to the European map, and we're going to check it out. Now, we'll just zoom right in here to South America. Hopefully I picked it up. There you go. Now, this is just over the last 24 hours. And these are all, these are all pretty significant earthquakes. A 3.2, a 5.1, 4.3, 3.5. I mean, they're stacked on top of each other so much I could barely, catch the reading. A 3.8, 3.3. So once again, these earthquakes are starting to swarm all across the globe where areas are prone to earthquake activity. I'm just going to go ahead and move back to the world map. Now, right down in the South Pacific area. This is where the Fiji earthquake occurred. And yesterday, I noticed in the country of Australia, I'm going to go ahead and zoom into this because I find this kind of odd also. Oh, okay, it is listed. There was an earthquake over on the southwest side of Australia, and then another earthquake on the southeast side of Australia. And basically, they are surrounded all on the northern tier of Australia. They're just surrounded by all of these earthquakes that are going off. Now, I'm going to try to zoom in here a little bit to this area. Oh, it didn't give us anything. Let's go ahead and back up. I'll catch it on the live earthquake map. Now, these earthquakes over here in Fiji, they are just literally just stacked up on top of each other, and you have to zoom in very, very closely to see all of them. And if you take a look at that, that's quite alarming. And this has just been over the past 10 hours. And as you can see how close they are to the island. Now, these are all in the magnitude of 5, 5.2, 5.3, 5.4. Nothing that would ensue any type of tsunami warning. However, this type of swarming of earthquake activity, I would be very leery about being anywhere, near these islands. If a magnitude 7.6 up to a magnitude 8 occurs, this whole entire area will definitely be under a tsunami warning. Right off the coast of Vanuatu, it's updating again, but right off the coast of Vanuatu, we'll just zoom in some more here so we can see it, at a magnitude 5.7 and then a 5.5. So the South Pacific, the Ring of Fire, is literally, it's heating up. Indonesia, 4.9, and another 4.8 9 hours ago in Indonesia. Now, I haven't seen anything occurring in Japan. However, there was a 4.6 in China and a 4.2 in Afghanistan. Now, something that's not showing up on this map was a 3.8 magnitude earthquake that occurred off the coast of the UK. Let's see if it shows up on the European model. Just going to go ahead and back up. And I'm pretty sure that it did. No, they're not showing it here either. Now, there was a magnitude 3.8 earthquake that occurred right off of the coast of the UK. Oh, it is showing. Magnitude 3.3, they downgraded it. It was listed as a 3.8. Go ahead and just pull this up. And once again, these are strange areas to have these earthquakes, but they are occurring. And it's quite startling. Back to Fiji. We're going to keep an eye on what's going on in the South Pacific because this is a very volatile area. And once again, as you can see, when this earthquake hit right off the coast of the Fiji Islands, they were immediate to evacuate people from these buildings. Now, we do have some information coming in about several volcanoes that are currently under watch. And one of them is Mount Rainier in the state of Washington. And Mount Rainier is completely snow covered. And if any of you know what a lahar is basically a massive, wet, volcanic mudslide. And if you've never seen a video of a lahar, you can go ahead and look it up on YouTube. It is a very, very scary situation. Some of the information that we have coming in is that they are right now in the course of upgrading a lahar warning system. around Mount Rainier. But we're going to get into some more information about these volcanoes, because it seems to me that over the past 72 hours, volcanic activity around the globe is rumbling. And it's very alarming, because, where you have these earthquakes near volcanoes, and some of these volcanoes have been reported to have increased pressure building inside. Well, it's just like getting a 1-2 punch. All it's going to take is a pretty good sized earthquake, and it may just set one of these volcanoes off. So once again, if you live in any of these earthquake zones, please heed all of the warnings. Keep yourself informed. Stay tuned. There's a lot of great information out there. And it seems that the mainstream media is just not paying attention to this information that's coming out. They're ignoring it. They're downplaying it. They're just not reporting it. So there are a lot of good media sources on YouTube to gather this information and at least protect yourself. Have a contingency plan. Have an emergency bag set up. If you take medications, see your doctor. See if you can get a 30 or 60-day supply of extra medications if your life depends on it. Make sure you have a first aid kit, some bottled water, things of that nature. Put it together, put it in an emergency bag, and in the case you have to run for your life out of your house, grab that emergency bag, and at least you'll have it with you. So everyone, stay tuned. We will have another report within the hour, and we're going to be looking at some of these volcanoes that are starting to come to life. Thank you for watching the Nibiru channel. Stay tuned.